Throughout the history of Lake Avenue Baptist Church, young people have been incredibly important. It is unclear exactly when the church began to do ministry specifically with young people. However, we know that by 1884 or 1885, there was what was called the Young People's Meetings being held. Here we have the inside of a Young People's Meeting pamphlet. In the minutes of the Board of Trustees, it's recorded that the, quote, Associated Young People requested the use of the auditorium to host a concert presented by the Fisk Jubilee Singers from Fisk College in Nashville. Reverend Francis Clark was a congregational pastor in Portland, Maine. On a bitter cold Sunday evening in February 1881, 57 young people gathered at the church for their regular youth meeting. After a general conversation, Dr. Clark proposed the establishment of a society to be called the Williston Young People's Society of Christian Endeavor. The purpose was to promote the earnest Christian life, to increase members' mutual acquaintance, and to make them more useful in the service of God. This was the beginning of the Christian Endeavor movement that spread around the world and throughout multiple denominations. Dr. Clark would become known as the father of youth ministry. The movement exists to this day, training young people for leadership in the church. In 1895, the calendar section of the Weekly Worship Bulletin, we find the first evidence of the Christian Endeavor movement being established at LABC. However, it would appear that it was actually established earlier, with Thursday evening being their regular meeting time. And in December of 1895, the Christian Endeavor sponsored a church social following the Physical Culture Club. Weekly announcements of the Christian Endeavor meeting continues up through 1901. In the weekly calendar for the week of December 3, 1899, we find an anomaly. For Friday, it says that there is a meeting listed as the Women's Meeting in the furtherance of the cause of missions. That is followed by the Young People's Meeting of the same cause. One could raise the question, is this the Young People's group that was established in the 1880s, or is this the Young People's Christian Endeavor Club? This is likely lost to history. Dr. Deborah Van Broekhoven of the American Baptist Historical Society postulates that the earliest American Baptist picnics developed around the 4th of July celebrations in the 1800s. Initially, the 4th of July picnics were political and oftentimes drunken celebrations, so the family picnic was likely a pushback against said. It is also known that by the 1840s, abolitionists began holding family-friendly picnics. It may be that the Sabbath school picnic was an outgrowth of this pushback. Although the records show that Sunday school picnics actually started in 1865, before LABC became a chartered church, this picture from 1886 is the first picture of the Sunday school picnic, which was held at Newport House. This picture is from 1891 and a Sunday school picnic in Seneca Park. And here we find a receipt for Mrs. McMillan for the Lake Avenue Baptist Church for transportation of 200 adults for that Sunday school picnic. Here in 1894, this year the picnic required transportation on the Grandview Beach Railroad. Where it took place, we don't know. And here we find a receipt for transportation to Silver Lake for the 1895 Sunday school picnic. This transportation was provided by the Buffalo, Rochester, and Pittsburgh Railroad Company. In 1896, the Sunday school picnic was again held at Silver Lake, and again transportation was used by the Buffalo, Rochester, and Pittsburgh Railroad Company. It wasn't until 1901 that the Sunday school picnic was held at Seabreeze. This is just the beginning of a value on youth ministry that would continue throughout the years, and church picnics were another way for the community to gather together and celebrate the significance of youth. Deacon Doty, one of the earliest deacons at Lake Avenue Baptist Church, was a man who had vision and breadth of mind. When the Lake Avenue Baptist Church, in the fall of 1890, was considering the matter of calling to the pastorate a brilliant youth, Clarence Barber, then only 23 years of age, who was beginning his senior year at the Rochester Theological Seminary, the question was raised as to whether or not it was wise to call so young of a man to so important a position. It was Deacon Doty who responded, "Time will remedy that matter," and it did. In that question, there was the value and the significance of youth, and we know that through that decision and through the decisions of so many over the years, the significance and value of youth continues to this day.